Hello and welcome. You're tuned in to Up South. I'm Padmaja Joshi and our focus today is on Bengaluru city. From Kaveri water wars to demolition drives, Bengaluru has been grappling with protests and bunds for over the last 2 months. Prohibitory orders have been imposed for 20 days in the last 2 months. The latest protest, to make matters worse, is over the daylight murder of an RSS activist. Here's what happened.
Anger pouring on the streets of Bengaluru after the brutal hacking of RSS activist Rudresh by unidentified assailants on Sunday afternoon. Protesters from the BJP and RSS demanding strict action against the perpetrators, calling it a political killing. On Sunday afternoon, 35 years old Rudresh was hacked to death in Bengaluru's Shivaji Nagar area while returning from an event. He stopped his bike when he spotted a few friends near Kamaraj Road. Moments later, two men struck him on his neck with a machete. The vicious attack has triggered outrage from both the RSS and the BJP groups in the state. Prohibitory orders were in place at several parts of the IT city.
We are trying to analyze all possible evidence, including the CCTV footage. Motive अभी पता नहीं लग रहा है मोटिव, लेकिन जरूरी ही ऐसा है जिससे अराजकता की स्थिति पैदा हो, इस तरह का कुछ.
An investigation is underway as the police are piecing together evidence to ascertain the real motive behind this heinous killing. All hopes are now pinned on the leads from nearby CCTV cameras. With Rohini Swami, Bureau Report, India Today.
Revati is now joining us live on Up South. The series of bloody murders, first in Kerala and now this unfortunate episode in Karnataka as well. Is there any possibility of a link there, Revati? Because that is what is being suggested.
Well, yes, Padmaja, even while the police are looking into the possibility of a personal enmity that could have led to the murder, the party workers, the RSS workers are insisting that it's political vendetta that has led to this murder. Now, I did speak to the neighbors, I spoke to the members of the RSS in the area, the Shivaji Nagar constituency, where Rudresh was hacked to death, but none of them said that Rudresh was threatened earlier or had any sort of personal enmity with others in the area or from the other parties. Now, the concern here is, while I spoke to other members there, the concern is that they are insisting, they are reiterating that their party is being threatened. The Hindu outfit is being threatened is what they are echoing time and again. Now, if that is the kind of voice that comes out from there, and if that spreads around, and if that comes to a massive protest, then it could lead to something that like that we're seeing in Kannur. Because in Kannur, it has been going on for decades now. It's political. It's clearly a political attack that we see in Kannur. It's between the two parties. But hundreds of workers have lost their lives in these bloodied murder and retaliatory attacks by these two parties. Now, if the people, if the locals and our party workers at this level come to that sort of a conclusion and manage to gather a lot of people to believe that sort of a concern, then that is going to be very, very dangerous in this situation, Padmaja.
Oh, absolutely. And already the Karnataka government is saying that they have started the investigation. It is not a targeted killing. Will that be enough to assuage the feelings of those protesting? Revati will be keeping watch. For now, thanks very much for joining us. In fact, the Supreme Court appointed technical committee. The technical panel submitted its report on the Kaveri dispute today. But what really does this mean for the way forward? Tamil Nadu farmers were not satisfied at all. In fact, they staged a rail roko protest to demand the setting up of a Kaveri water management board. The political parties in Tamil Nadu also jumped in.
The Kaveri water wars reignited. Trains halted, roads jammed, police struggling to contain a mob. Tamil Nadu gripped by a rail roko protest. Farmers demanding release of more Kaveri water from Karnataka and that the Kaveri Water Management Board be immediately set up to resolve the 120-year-old dispute. Political parties were not far behind, descending on the streets to pledge their support to the farmers. But as Tamil Nadu limped to a halt, the central fact-finding team submitted its report on the ground situation in the dueling states.
What comes as a major reader for the state of Karnataka is an acknowledgement from this technical committee that there is a severe drought situation in the state of Karnataka. Also, the report acknowledges that the water levels in many reservoirs in Karnataka are much below than what they were earlier. The report also says that Tamil Nadu has been equally hit by this water crisis, and there must be a joint cooperation, a joint effort by both these states to ensure that the farmers in these areas do not suffer who have been worst hit.
Karnataka, accused of defying the Supreme Court, has found some relief in the central team's report. But Tamil Nadu is unlikely to drop its demand of being given its share of Kaveri's water. All eyes are now on the apex court as it arbitrates the tussle tomorrow. With Pramod Madhav and Anusha Soni, Bureau Report, India Today.
The Karnataka government finds itself in a catch-22 situation. For long, it has been under attack for the crumbling infrastructure and the traffic woes, especially in the city of Bengaluru. So they came up with the idea of a steel flyover. The state government has stood by its decision to build this 1,800 crore steel flyover from Chalukya Circle to Hebbal inside the city. But they have been met with stiff resistance and protests by the public, who say that not only is this flyover counterproductive, but its very construction is mired in corruption.
One of the biggest protests ever in the Garden City. Thousands of citizens speaking out against the construction of the so-called VVIP flyover in Bengaluru. The target of the riot, a monstrous 7-kilometer iron flyover connecting the Chalukya Circle to Hebbal. A flyover which will repeatedly make travel to Bengaluru airport a breeze. But this comes at a huge price. More than 800 trees will have to be cut down.
Thousands of Bengalurians gathering in Bangalore city to say no to a steel flyover that will cover a distance of 6.7 kilometers, aimed at easing traffic congestion that will cost a whopping amount of 1,791 crore rupees. The decision was met with strong protest from citizens across the city, saying that there is lack of transparency, lack of proper planning, and that this will lead to axing down of hundreds of trees.
Well, we don't really require this flyover. We could have other means of transportation to the airport. It's mainly meant for people who travel to the airport. What about the Majestic bus stand? Shouldn't we have something like that then? That should be where you should begin.
I don't think so. There is a lot of traffic congestion here. I think if you leave 10-15 minutes earlier, you can reach the airport. But there are a lot of other places like Whitefield and other places where really it is required. And why do they want to cut down the trees?
And there are other objections as well. While the government says the entire project is above board, activists allege huge payoffs.
There has been no efforts made to do public consultation on this project. Supreme Court on various occasions has said that public consultation for large projects should be due, deliberate and effective. And in this case, we don't see any efforts being made. There's a so-called public opinion they have elicited, of which they say they got 299 responses. We made efforts to gather those 299 what did they receive back, and can you tell us what comments you received? We have received a blank on it as well.
The process, unfortunately, was not very transparent. So because the non-transparent process, people have got all kind of opinions, it have to be done. And we must understand that some of us must stand up at a time of very, very mass kind of emotion to be logical and to say we need a solution. And we'll be very happy if the people who are spearheading offer the solution. In fact, we want Naresh and others to offer a solution so that we can do some things immediately, because the common problem, we're all together.
What we are actually discussing is the alignment of this steel bridge. Yeah. We believe that at no cost should the heritage sites, the tree coverage or any aesthetic aspects of the city be compromised. That's what we want to make sure that is ensured.
Bengaluru infrastructure hasn't been able to keep pace with its growth. The metro project is still in its infancy, with the first phase able to handle just over 1 lakh commuters a day. An elevated light rail system proposed 20 years ago fell flat. The state government is basing its case on future traffic projections.
70% of the suggestions is in the favor of the flyover. It was time and again discussed in many forums. Even I myself discussed with many people, including the Vision Group members. And there is a misconception. This road is only for the VIP, for the airport. For their information, this road is going to help everybody.
The controversy surrounding the 6.7 kilometer steel flyover from Chalukya Circle all the way to Hebbal has now become a political tussle between the ruling Congress and the opposition. The Congress say that this will help ease traffic congestion, but the BJP says it's a pure political strategy just before the UP elections. But the Congress has now countered this by saying that this decision to build the steel flyover was taken by the BJP way back in 2010.
With Rohini Swami and Revathi Rajivan at Bengaluru, Bureau Report, India Today.
In fact, Rohini is live with us now from Bengaluru. Rohini, let's just leave the politics out of it, because it's no secret that traffic in Bengaluru is a mess, to say the least. In principle, is this flyover going to ease that situation? And if yes, can it be done by maybe just rethinking its route and the way in which the construction is being done?
Well, there are arguments and counter-arguments to this. Though I have been speaking to a lot of urban experts who have been a part of city planning, they say, yes, a flyover will definitely help, because Bengaluru's traffic and the congestion, especially in certain pockets, is something where people spend a lot of time just because they are bottlenecks. But at the same time, the kind of 1,700 crores that is being spent on this particular steel flyover, that is being questioned. Also the reason because on the way, not only there's going to be 800 trees that are being going to cut down, heritage buildings are going to be also affected. So what they're saying is there should be an alternate solution or an alternate route that should be taken. Another point is that the Chief Minister today, along with the media persons and his cabinet ministry, decided to go on a trip around Bangalore, especially on that stretch, to see alternate routes that could possibly lead to the Kempegowda International Airport. Now, this particular, he's also said that he's allocated around 300 crores for this. The point that he's also saying is steel project will continue because it was a decision taken by the cabinet in 2 years ago. But they're also making a point. Though we have to leave the politics aside in this, he's also making a point saying it's the BJP who actually cleared this entire project. So they're only bringing into force what is already cleared. Another important point that he made while he was talking to me is that 73% of Bangaloreans said they need the steel project. This is after they opened it for public discussion in June 2016. So here they're talking about statistics, but it seems that despite the kind of public outrage that we are seeing, the steel bridge would be built now, with alternate routes also being looked at to ease the traffic in Bangalore.
All right, I will try and get a reaction from all the civil society groups who have been protesting against the construction of the flyover on this particular route. Are they happy with a rethink on the route at least? Rohini, thanks very much for joining us. Welcome back. The latest from Tamil Nadu, where for a week now there has been no official medical bulletin issued about the medical condition of Tamil Nadu Chief Minister Jayalalithaa. But despite that, the spread of rumours about her health has been largely contained. Social media posts are being monitored. Meanwhile, the number of VIPs who are landing up to inquire after the CM is growing, the latest being the Prime Minister himself, who is likely to visit her soon. We've got Pramod Madhav now joining us live from Chennai. In fact, Pramod, on the one hand, there is a beeline of VIPs, senior ministers from the centre and across the country. On the other, it's really her fans who are keeping the momentum going, and some of them in rather bizarre and curious ways, praying for Jayalalitha's well-being.
Well, exactly, Padmaja. One person on here, Chief Minister, is admitted to the hospital for more than 20 days now. Each and every VIP in this in the nation, in fact, are coming to visit her and inquire to the doctors about her health. Just shows what kind of perspective when it comes to political respect Tamil Nadu's and what kind of level it is. And on the other hand, we have ADMK cadres from various districts of Tamil Nadu. Some conducting puja with ghee and everything. Others even lying on thorns. I mean, even now they had a puja over here. Apollo has almost turned into a hospital where you have pujas every day. Every single day you have one or the other kind of pujas like Lalita Sahasranama, Vishnu Sahasranama. Even now they had beetle leaf and beetle leaf puja conducted by certain ADMK candidates here. I mean, cadres here, Padmaja.
All right, I really wonder if that in any way impedes the movement of the ambulances and the other people who want to visit the hospital. Anyway, if all the supporters, they're thronging to the hospital praying for her health. Pramod, thank you very much for joining us. And that brings us to the end of today's edition of Up South. Thanks very much for having tuned in. A quick break. On the other side, the big question that is being asked in Gujarat is Hardik Patel going to be a trump card for the Aam Aadmi Party? The Patidar leader himself is going to take our questions.